Time to talk some cricket now on the SportsMax zone. Following their failed campaign at the ICC Cricket World Cup qualifiers in Zimbabwe, the West Indies will target some brand rebuilding when they take on India in a multi-format series, starting with the first test in Dominica, bowling off on Wednesday. Uncapped Kirk McKenzie and Alec Athanas are in the squad, with Dominica's Athanas poised for a test debut, we think, in front of his home crowd at Windsor Park. Here's a full list of the Craig Brathwaite-led side. Craig Brathwaite captain, Jermaine Blackwood vice-captain, Alec Athanas, Tej Narayan Chanderpaul, that's Shiv Narayan's son, Rakeem Cornwall, Joshua De Silva, Shannon Gabriel, Jason Holder, Alzara Joseph, those two coming from Zimbabwe with the ODI World Cup qualifiers, Kirk McKenzie, Raymond Reefer, Kemar Roach and Jamel Warrican. Performance mentor and ex-West Indies batting star Brian Lara says the West Indies cricket fans should look forward to good things from this unit. Here's what he said. It's a young group, ably led by Craig Brathwaite, of course, but I feel like some of the guys can really come into their own in this series. It's a tough opposition, but I believe that's the way we can get the best out of them. Obviously, we've got two very important test matches against India that start the two-year cycle for us. We know whether it's at home or away from home, they are one of the top teams in the world, India is. I think the guys are moving in the right direction in terms of where we started the camp and where we are at the present moment. So Brian Lara retired from international cricket back in 2007 and giving some of his expertise back to this squad struggling. And there's been some rain in Dominica. Neither team was able to practice today because of heavy rain. Leighton, we're hoping that the weather will clear up. And
they're hoping that it won't.
Right? No, the fans want to see cricket. I hear that the stands are sold out.
That's nice. That's actually quite encouraging because it's going to be a short test match.
Why do you say that?
Because I'm looking at the lineup lines, and I don't want to, rain on the West Indies parade. But what I see is a long and brittle batting lineup. And look, Brian Lara will say these things because he's worked with them. But I get the feeling that when you go practicing is one thing. But when you go out onto the field and you're out there by yourself, and the Indians are bowling at the speed of light, and of course the spinners are, working their magic, it's a completely different dynamic. And I don't see enough experience in this middle order, especially, that encourages me to the point where I say the West Indies are going to show, an encouraging performance.
Yeah, but one of the most potent things about India's cricket at the moment is their fast bowling attack. But they are missing most of their top
because they're injured,
now. The entire pace attack has 88 test matches combined. So it's an inexperienced pace attack, this Indian team. And maybe the West Indies have an opportunity, with the likes of Bumrah and so on not there, to get some runs and at least be competitive.
Well, I agree. I'm not disagreeing with that point. The thing is, a lot will depend on the nature of the pitch. Because if it's a pitch that you're getting movement off the seam and are in the air, given that the rain, it's been raining over there, I think our batsmen are in trouble because I haven't seen an indication over the past few years where we've been able to handle swinging deliveries at pace. And so if they're able to do so, kudos to them. I'm just worried about whether or not they'll be able to handle that. And, look, I am more than willing to be proven wrong. But given the history of what we've seen from this team in previous years, I am not particularly encouraged. I'm sorry. I'm trying my best to have an open mind about it, but it's...
Well, the track record supports you because they've played 5 test matches, the West Indies, at Windsor Park so far, and only won one of them.
There you go.
And the Indians are ranked #1 in the world. Yes, they lost the World Test Championship to the Aussies, but the ICC still ranks them #1 in the world. I think the key factor, though, is that this is not the strongest Indian team.
No.
And the fact is, the West Indies are usually better at home than they are overseas. So if you clutch onto those two facts, then maybe there is some hope for the West Indies to be at least competitive.
Yeah, look, and I hope Athanas gets a chance to play, especially before his home crowd, because he's been one of the more promising batsmen in the region in the last couple of seasons.
I think he'll play.
And if he plays, it would be nice to see how he handles against well, look, a diminished, but we're still world-class bowling attack.
Yeah.
Like, I think that would be a nice boon for cricket in the region to see a youngster coming into the West Indies team and scoring heavily against world-class opponents.
Yeah, and most projections previewing this game, the probable West Indies lineup for several of the publications have Rakeem Cornwall playing. He has been out of the test side for quite some time now, but we know he's a good turner of the ball, and statistically he's been one of the most solid performers in regional cricket and earns his spot on this team.
And he's useful with the bat as well, so
Yeah.
it extends the batting lineup,
Yeah.
which I think, given the team, it is probably will be needed.
Okay, so weather permitting, this first test match between India and the West Indies starting in the morning in Roseau, Dominica at Windsor Park. All the best to the West Indies team. We go to break. Back with more on The Zone after this.